Ooh, welcome to the DAWG Show. So this week, special topic, virginity. There's something for everyone. We'll be sharing our experiences as always. If you're just starting out, there's going to be plenty of what not to do's and a few what you should do's. And if you're a serial lover like the Baron, then there will at least be something to laugh about through our little chat here. So before we get into the real juicy stuff, I just want to talk a little bit about timing. When is the ideal time to go about this? Dog meat, over to you. What made you go through with it when you did, or what were the delaying factors that stopped you from going through with it earlier?
I think when I was probably in high school, you've got a lot of teenagers from, I would say, sort of 15 and above. That's the thing, right? Everyone's hormoned up to the max, girls, boys. You go through the stage of hating girls or obsessing with girls if you're someone like Baron. But yeah, I think there's a lot of different factors what, makes you feel pressured to do it, right? Everybody's doing it, there's a part of wanting to fit in. There's a part of, wanting to be sociable and be able to talk about it, right? When I remember having many a conversation with people when they're talking about it to me, and some even come up to me assuming that I already lost my virginity, and we were like, oh, when this and this happens, and I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of like, well, from what I've heard, then you should do this, but I'm not speaking from sort of experience. So
you leveled with them then?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay, you wouldn't be like the Baron and be like, they feel like sandbags.
And you feel it, and it feels like a bag of sand when you're touching it.
I didn't ever say that. I don't recall ever saying that.
Well, I was quite close to the sort of the females in the sense of I had a lot of good friends that were females. So obviously, I wouldn't say that. I would say more the caring, listening type guy. Hearing their perspective and sort of liaising between the two. I'd have a friend from a girl who was really like one of my other football mates or one of the mates I used to hang out with, and I'd be the mediator or try and set them up, because at that age you like someone and they like you, but they wouldn't tell each other.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of setting up
agent.
or walks. Yeah, I was the agent basically.
You were the stupid Cupid.
Yeah. I'll say the Cupid. That
Should
was
have been
stupid.
setting yourself up.
Well, I found later on that I sort of sometimes friend zoned myself, and there was even times where I thought I friend zoned myself and I didn't. Later on, when reconnecting with some of the high school friends I had, they were like, "Oh, why don't you ask me out? I obviously liked you."
Shit.
So yeah, that was a bummer. But yeah, it's going back to your question. There's a lot of things. There's pressures socially. There's everybody doing it, and then obviously you've hormones at that age are through the roof. So you're always looking at girls, and I was a lover of all girls, all shapes and sizes and races. I was quite happy looking and chatting and talking from a sort of a young age, but some were uncomfortable doing it. But yeah, so for me it was pressures, societal pressures, peer pressure. But I didn't get any sort of parent pressure, obviously, or any parent pressure the other way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just took my time. I wasn't in any rush. I like to be different, and I was different as it is, being one of the only 5 darker skinned fellows in my school.
Oh yeah.
The other 2 are my brother and sister. Yeah. But yeah, I was always different. I spoke with an English accent. They spoke with a Welsh accent. I was quite small for my age as well in height wise. I didn't want to fit in with the crowd. I wanted sometimes to be a little bit different, and I felt if it was going to go down, it was going to be someone, a close best friend of mine who I was going out with, as opposed to
sure.
a random drunk hookup, which a lot of people did while girls were intoxicated and whatever, seize the moment, and obviously consensual, but I just didn't want it to be like that for me.
Sure. So Baron, what about you? What made you go through with it when you did and not earlier?
So back in school days, I was quite reserved, and I didn't really talk to many people in general. So females were not on my agenda in terms of flirting with them or anything like that. I was reserved when talking to them just because I felt like I had to talk about makeup, girly things. So I kind of stayed away from that. So in terms of people having girlfriends, and I used to see some of my friends holding hands with other girls during lunchtime, and the girls would watch us play football. Sometimes I was just kind of put off by that because they would cheer me on, and when I scored a goal
Even
and I
back
showed
then
up,
you were getting the attention.
yeah, but I kind of didn't want the attention. I was afraid of it. And there was one time when I scored a goal and everyone was like cheering, and I was just shaking. I didn't really want the limelight on me. But
Were you shaking in surprise that you scored a goal, or
just shaking in the fact that everyone was cheering and all eyes were on me, and I didn't like the attention at all. Yeah, that was mostly during school. Obviously, it goes back to the parenting as well. My mum and dad just kind of embedded in my head that, you know, you shouldn't be like going after girls at this age, because we want you to get married.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think it was pretty similar for me, to be honest. Like, obviously, I've told you all before, I was raised kind of as a Muslim by my father. And yeah, so basically we weren't allowed to talk about girls. We weren't allowed to hang around with girls. It was very much, you know, all boys, got sent to all boys schools. So yeah, I was really kind of kept away as much as possible from the women, from my family side of things and from that religious background. So yeah, it wasn't until I sort of started working that I started to kind of hang around with girls a lot more.
Yeah, exactly the same as me. Like, it was more to do with the fact that when I left school and went to college, there was the clear transition when I started talking to girls more and realizing that there was actually a lot more that we had in common. So it's just similar to what you just said there as well. That's all that parenting and all that stuff that the parents told me, I just tried to rebel against, and it was for the better, obviously.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we're obviously talking about maybe our parents kind of holding us back,
Yeah,
kind of driving us away from that. But as Dolmeat said, there was actually a lot going on, right? Even in the younger years. So I actually have a statistic here for you. What percentage do you think in the UK have sex under the legal age limit?
just for classification, Baron, what is that limit? What is that age?
it's 16, right?
In the UK, it's 16.
17, is it 16 or 17?
Yeah, 16.
You know what, actually, just before we get into the statistic,
yeah,
like, I was, you know, obviously doing the research for this, and in the US, it's actually decided by the states. So there's no sort of overall.
It's different. It's different. Yeah, it's different in each state. But then again, you think about the size of the state. Like, I mean, the UK, I think, or England could fit in Florida. You know, so.
Yeah. But actually, just looking on Wikipedia, do you know what the legal age limit for South Carolina is?
I'm gonna say 15.
11.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm not having that.
Go check out Wikipedia. So I think the guy or the girl, so the older party has to at least be 14, but the younger can be 11.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, and that actually goes across quite a lot of states.
I can't allow Baron to step in.
Baron's going on a no-fly list now to the US.
The thing is, I as long as I can pass on as 14.
Oh my god.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, kiddie fiddling.
I wanted to ask you to a party.
I'm 13.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, there's been a mistake.
So, going back to your statistic.
The statistic, alright.
So you said the
No,
percentage.
I think you got it wrong. You got it wrong. 16 years old. In South Carolina, that age is 16 years old. However, individuals as young as 14 can give consent if the partner is 18 years or older. Sorry, Baron.
Just 14.
I can't believe you made me search that in my phone. The police are going to be knocking on my door. Police are going to be knocking on my door.
Honestly, I have a list straight from Wikipedia that shows all the ages. But
Wikipedia pages can be changed. I think that was bad.
Baron probably changed them all.
Nah, I didn't alter it. No. I was about to say who altered
Look, officer, it says 11. All right, back to the statistic.
So you want the percentage, yeah?
What percentage? So basically 15 or under in the UK have had sex.
Because UK definitely kids are having sex a lot more sooner than the rest of Europe. I'm going to say about 25%.
Okay, quite high.
I'm going to go 16%.
Okay, So the actual number is 33%. So it's a third of people are having underage sex. That's when they lost their virginity.
Crazy.
Yeah, that probably makes sense.
That's
crazy.
Third.
I'm sure the UK has one of the highest teenage pregnancies in Europe.
But actually quite across the board, it's pretty much 18 is like the average age.
Right.
That people use their virginity.
Yeah.
So like pretty much every country you look at, it's like 17 point
Yeah.
so many years or 18 years. It's all pretty much 18 years.
We're all three of us on this podcast
On the
are
high
all
end.
yeah. But we try we try and balance it out. We do. That's what we're trying to do.
So I think I was 21 and Baron, you were 20.
20, yeah.
Yeah,
I was
20. I'll go through it all. So under 12 is 1%, 12 to 13 8%, 14 to 15 years old 23%, 16 and 18 with 40%. And then there's 19 to 20 year olds, there's 13% of the population, 21 to 24 years old, 10%, 25 to 32%, and then 3% over 30. Or never. 3% is, yeah.
Do you know anyone who's in that 3%?
Yeah, actually, I know somebody who is in that category. So, this is what we're kind of getting to. Like, the question that I asked to start with is, like, what are some of the preventing factors? And I think a lot of the issues are also, so it's, obviously we talked about parents being one issue, but a lot of people are suffering from other issues. For example, maybe low self-esteem or some anxiety, some people even depression or abuse, some people concerned about some health issues. Maybe you're concerned, you don't fit the bill for what's required. You're being told, or maybe you watched a load of porn and you've seen the average cock size in porn is probably 12 inches. So you think that's what you got to have to satisfy a woman. Or women obviously maybe also suffer. There's a lot who suffer who can't reach climax as well, or struggle to reach climax. So maybe that's preventing them from going through with the experience. Or people suffering from erectile dysfunction, maybe when they're there's plenty of things that might it's not a laughing matter, Baron. These are serious problems for some people. So there's plenty of factors stopping people from having sex. But let's get to the real action. So before we get into the main stories, Domi, what's your sort of earliest recollection of sort of like a near miss?
Well, I'll say, a near miss stroke missed opportunity. I think we all probably had it, right? Maybe not you because you went to an all boys school, but a girl we always liked throughout the years. There's always a girl, let's just say, was a little bit more developed, evolutionary at a young age. And, I really liked this girl who was actually 1 year younger than me. I was about 14 or 15. And, she was pretty, she was curvy, and let's just say developed in certain areas that a horny 15-year-old boy would definitely, I wouldn't say obsess over, but definitely appreciate from afar. But anyway, I like this girl, but she went out with my friend for about maybe less than a year. And then obviously I was chatting to other girls and looking at other girls at the time, but sort of fast forward sort of 2 years later, you always say to yourself, what if I could have pulled her? What if I could have made her my girl? What if I was able to go out with her or whatever, right? So, but anyway, fast forward 2 years later, we're in sort of sixth form, so around about 17. She was single and all that sort of stuff, and we got talking. We had like the sort of a common room in sixth form, so, and there was like a sort of a sweet shop round the corner, and obviously we had breaks in our day where we wouldn't have any studies, and then we'll have a 2-hour break, and then we'll have another one, and there was gaps in our schedule where the school recommended we studied in the library. Not much of that was getting done anyway.
They couldn't afford a teacher or something. They just palmed you off to the library.
Yeah, but it was a mixed schedule, right? You pick 3 or 4 topics and 3 or 4 subjects, and then you'd have maybe 2 sessions, 3 a day, 1 a day, whatever, because it was that age where kids broke off from either going to work or have that extra 2 years college before they go to university, right? But anyway, there's obviously times when, her friend one of her closest friends was close with, or really like one of my best mates. So it was kind of like, all right, let's all four of us go down the shop, have a little walk, have a little chat, etc., etc. But it turns out then she started to like me. I found out through a friend and that. So, but anyway, we started, texting, chatting, or back then I think it was MSN Messenger.
Good old MSN.
But we were chatting about. I think it was it was MSN Messenger. Plus, I had a little slick little flip phone. You know, the ones you seen in the Matrix, the first Matrix. I had one of them bad boys. So I thought I was the,
and everyone
was the
was
shit.
using Nokias, right?
I was the shit. Yeah. But anyway, we would go out. We would kiss, would whatever. We'd go to cinema and all that sort of stuff. But it was always obviously going to lead to the next stage. But she offered me to come down and stay the night. Parents were away and all that sort of stuff. One of those ones, and I don't know. I mean, at that time, I don't think we both wanted a relationship. It would be more of a just sort of a friends with benefits sort of thing.
Okay.
But you never know how that could end up, right? It can always end up with someone getting hurt and stuff. But she was obviously more experienced than me. So there was obviously a little bit of that playing in my head. There was a little bit of insecurity. What if man's weapon ain't doing the business, ain't as big as the others. So I kind of just kept it as a friend thing, and there was, it was there. She even offered, come, let's go in the toilet and do things and this, that, and the other. But that was on the plate, and I don't know. It just, the timing didn't feel right. The waiting so long in terms of 2 years to wait for the right relationship and companionship to finally succumb to it.
And this was like the girl of your dreams, right? This was the girl
no,
that you were...
No, I mean, I had a few of them back in my time in school.
You were worried about your dog meat.
No, it wasn't just that. It was a contribution of things. And nothing that she said or whatever made me feel like I'd be inferior, or it wasn't the right time and I didn't feel it was right. And the older me now was like, you stupid friggin' pussy.
So that's what I was going to ask, if you kind of regret that decision now, or you feel like it was the right decision to wait.
I put it on a pedestal, and ultimately, I just think you just gotta get it done. You just gotta get it done in the sense of get the monkey off your back, and then start to get better and more experience about it. Like, I mean, as I told you before, girls confided in me and tried to get the male perspective on things, and I heard some stories. I had some stories of, one of the football boys, I didn't let it get out, but he didn't even know where the hole was, couldn't find it. I swear to God, and there was one where a girl told me, like, this big rugby player, 6 foot boy, he was scared to do it, and he had a micro penis, which was it didn't get out. So you hear all of these stories from a girl's perspective, and you're like, shit, man, they can be brutal. Yeah. But then I guess from a female standpoint, guys could be as well, right? You mentioned it earlier about we put things on a pedestal and what it should look like, right? And what it should look like, we think it's porn or what they're showing on Bravo TV, Sin Cities, or whatever it was.
Or even if it's the opposite end, and you've seen just like some super romantic love scene, right? And you've got that image in your head and you've built that up. That's what it's supposed to look like.
It's not.
Sorry, hold on.
Case.
There was no cocks on Sin Cities on Bravo.
No, but there was like porn.
Kind of.
Yeah, they didn't show the cocks, but they showed the titties.
Yeah.
Had that shit on record.
For our listeners out there, Baron is our pornography correspondent and can give you all the information you need to know.
Yeah, but I just think there's an image in people's head of what it should look like, but it never looks that way. I think from a girl's standpoint, they feel like they have to look all this and fake and all this sort of stuff, and how they should act within the actual act. I just think just get on with it. Not saying get on with it at a young age, but just get that monkey off your back, and if it's with someone that you care about, brilliant. If it's not,
I think
learn from it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's not something that needs to be built up. That it's just the first, probably, of many experiences, whether with other people or with the same person. Some people are high school sweethearts, stay with each other for life and all that kind of stuff. Or some people are like, what do they call you, Baron?
What's that?
What's the terminology for a guy like you?
A guy like who? Me? I'm not.
Predator.
Fuck boy. Isn't that the term
Nah.
that gets bandied around?
No.
So anyway, I think like, as we're going to find out a bit later in the show when we go through our experiences, it doesn't go perfect for everyone. In fact, it's more likely not to go as you had dreamt it or as you planned it. And yeah, it's just about, like anything in life, you're never going to be great at anything the first time you do it, right?
Sometimes.
All right. Yeah, so Baron, what have you got to tell us? Where's your first near miss?
So during school, there was nothing really. There's not a lot of experiences. I can't even lie now.
No lying on the Dog Show. The Dog Show
No
is
lying on the
100% off the leash truth. Facts.
The Holy Grail. But yeah, so in school there were some girls that were developed, and I would look at them and go back home and sort of fantasize about them like a horny 14-year-old does, as Mr. Dogmeat said. Standard procedure. So yeah, school nothing. So in college, during college, there was a trip where we went to Prague. So it was my sort of first freedom from like being away from my parents. So being able to travel with like my friends in college. Okay. So
this sounds like a recipe for a disaster already.
It sounds like something like Skins that you see in Skins.
Oh yeah, I love Skins. Yeah. No, but it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. So when I was 17 years old, went to Prague and I got my first taste of alcohol. It went to a club. It was so surreal.
Oh, so really thrown in the deep end, yeah?
Thrown in the deep end.
First experience of everything. Okay.
Yep. Had a few drinks and got crazy. And there was a nice girl on her own. So I pretty much danced up to her.
Oh yeah, we've all seen some of those Darren dance moves.
So this girl kind of responded back. We were dancing together, and one thing led to the other. We started kissing. It was very instantaneous. I spent all night with this girl, and basically there was a group of my college friends. I call them friends, but they're not really my friends. But anyway, they were like egging me on and saying, "Oh, are you gonna bang her?" And I was like, "No, I don't know. I don't think I want to do that." But there was one moment where I like kind of grabbed her hand and took her to the toilet, and just about to lead her to the toilet, and I was just kind of suggesting that we should do it, but then she was like nodded her head like no, let's just kiss.
Nodded or shake.
Sorry, shook.
Baron has a hard time understanding the differences.
So she shook her head and at that point I was like I just enjoyed it, whereas there was pressure from the other boys encouraging me to do it, but I just had a great time. And there was one guy said he's a typical Indian boy looking for love in the club. I want to make love in this club, which still resonates till this day, but I was so infatuated by the whole by her and the whole experience that we exchanged MSN, and I still remember her name, Nadia, and I lost that piece of paper.
So she was a local Czech Republic girl?
No, she was Finnish.
Oh,
she was from Finland, traveling with her mum, and I just remember taking my Kodak disposable camera, and we took loads of selfies before selfies were even big. And I like taking pictures.
You invented the selfie.
Exactly. And then I developed those pictures when I went to the chemist.
Where did you get them developed?
In this like Indian chemist. But when I went over to it, I just remember like collecting the pictures, and he had like a wry smile on him, like, and he was just like, oh, okay. And then I just like,
you're not meant to be looking at your pictures.
I know, but he's looking at everyone's pictures, that bastard. But I went back home and I remember hiding those pictures because I didn't want my mum to find out what like I had experienced. It was quite a big thing for me. And I at one point I was just so scared that I tore all the pictures up. And yeah, that was my first sort of real experience with a girl, and it kind of should have been sex. I was a bit like what Dogmeat said. I do regret sort of not pursuing it where inviting her back to my hotel.
Okay.
But yeah.
So, something a little bit more classy than the toilets, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about in terms of near miss, but it was definitely a big opportunity. So yeah, I'll tell you a little story. So basically, this is already, like I said, no action at school. I'm going to an all boys school.
Gay!
So I have to wait until I start working. So I'm working part-time alongside college. And my mate at work, you know, he's got a girl. All my mates got girls. And I'm just the lonely guy without any girl. So he tells me he's got this mate, and he's shown her some of my pictures. She really likes what she's seen, and it's like a done deal. He's not even like painting it out like, oh, we'll put you on a nice little romantic date or something. You know, it's like, no, she wants it. Come over, you're gonna get it. So
that's how we spoke back then, though, right? It was like, she wants it.
Yeah, she's gagging for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I go over. He opens the door. Hey, this is Charlene. Hi, Charlene. And I give her a kiss on the head. And yeah, it really was.
Why do guys kiss your forehead? This is the kiss of love, according to experts.
On the head. I don't mean on the cheek. I mean literally I kissed the top of her head. Not even the forehead. Not the forehead. The head. Like right on top of the head. Really, really awkward.
So she was like, you treated her as if she was your girlfriend before you even banged her.
Yeah, but you wouldn't even do that to a girlfriend, mate. It was really, really, really awkward. But anyway, she wasn't put off. She was really still keen. So we go over to the sofa. We're chatting away. And literally, I've been in the apartment maybe 2 minutes. And then my mate basically grabs his girl by the hand and they go to the bedroom. And they're having like the loudest sex possible, you know, like almost like either they're trying to like put us off or show off, I'm not sure, but anyway, they're literally like slamming away. And this guy, like he was, mate, he's fucking Dillian White size, you know, we're both like 17, 18-year-old boys, but he's like Dillian White, and he's got this little white girlfriend who's like, you know, tiny piece, and they go into the bedroom and they're making a lot of noise. So I'm left there after just meeting this girl for the first time and just chatting, asking basic questions. The conversation's not really flowing. She's very shy. So yeah, it didn't really take off. And then I just decided, okay, no, I can't do this. And I just walked out, pussied out. And as I get out of the street, and my mate, he's like still half naked, putting his big tits out the window and like, hey, where you going? So yeah, he's trying to, come back. But I was I'm not feeling well, innit? Not feeling well.
So he had pussy right in front of you and you just ran home.
I ran from the pussy, yeah. Yeah, it's like Dominic said, you know, you just kind of make too much of it. You want it, you kind of have this idea. I was watching, mate, so many romantic comedies back then, you know. I wasn't the guy that was like, yeah, I'm looking to get some titties or whatever, you know.
So that's why you kissed the forehead.
I was like the romantic, yeah. But, yeah, another dumb Indian looking for love in the club, innit?
Kissing a forehead. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it from my kind of missed opportunity, shall we say. Would I have changed it? Yeah.
You'd have joined body snatch in the other room, innit?
100%. Yeah.
Orgy.
Yeah, so obviously we kind of grew up a little bit over the years. And yeah, so like the next stage was obviously going to university, right? So for me, like I think most people, or a lot of people anyway, obviously there's sort of like your maybe 50% of people who go to university are like kind of driven there by their parents, or maybe even a small fraction of those 10% are like, I really want to have this great dream and I want to have this great life and I'm going to university to study. But then there's the other 50%, which I think probably all three of us fall into the category where it's just like, I just want to meet a girl. So that was a big thing for me, just like getting away from home and yeah, kind of having that independence and meeting girls. I really wanted that part of the story.
Definitely.
So yeah, so Domi, tell us about your kind of experiences in university that led up to the real event
I think in sort of university, what it did is it opened up a whole new world of girls, right? I went to high school in Swansea, and I knew all of the girls in school, you know, so obviously going into a whole new world, so to speak, not to sound like Aladdin, a whole bunch of different girls from different areas, and English, Welsh, Scottish, Irish, Spanish, African, Caribbean, all these sort of different nationalities thrown together. I think there was such a variance compared to what I'm used to, right? Yeah. Swansea to Cardiff, there was a difference, right? Okay. But to be honest, you know, I obviously went out a lot, and I still had that in my head mentally, you know, as I said, everyone was going out, pulling, shagging, and see you later, then repeat 2 or 3 times a week. And drink, I don't know,
shag, repeat.
Drink, yeah, I mean, not to say that's a bad thing, but again, I still in my head wanted to, you know, either meet someone cool and do it. And again, there was opportunities, fair few times of girls throwing themselves, I'm not saying throw themselves at me, but the opportunity was there, right? The opportunity was, oh, you're only going to take me home? Nah, I just want to get to know you. And there was girls that didn't text me back because I didn't bring them home that night, you know, and I tried to set up a date or whatever and set up a chance to get to know him, but, you know, romantic in me, but it just didn't happen, you know, and I didn't want it to happen that way.
You couldn't really shake off the gay best friend tag.
No, I could. It just, I don't know, I just didn't want to, I still want to do it after sort of, you know, all right, you've waited 2 years or you waited 3 years and you're like, all right, okay, I'm just going to give it up to some woman that you don't know, who you're not going to speak to ever again in your life. You know, so there's a bit of like, you know, how I was brought up and morals to it as well.
Yeah.
I just didn't follow through with it only until sort of I went abroad to America for a summer to coach soccer out there, and that's what sort of led me up to my sort of first incident or interaction, as you could say, you know.
Okay.
Incident.
Yeah.
So a nice American girl in a cafe?
No. There was some groundwork to be done.
Okay.
So I went out there in I think it was in the summer of 2010, and you know, this is when I sort of didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was getting pretty bored of the assignments and stuff at the university. But my friend who worked out there and did some soccer coaching out there said, well, why don't you have a little look at this? You played. We played a lot in uni. Shout out Hurricanes. And maybe 5-a-side, but obviously I knew quite a little bit about the game. I did some badges and I went out there. Typically my schedule in the summer was sort of go from different areas in sort of Boston, Massachusetts, to go and coach at a camp, right? So you'd meet a whole new bunch of people from week to week. Okay. So sort of on the Monday, it was sort of a Monday to Friday camp. You know, Monday the kids would get dropped off by their parents, and then for 6 hours would coach and, you know, send them home until the next day. But on the first day, on the Monday, you know, I saw this little girl. She was trying to juggle or do keepy ups, as you say, and she was god awful. Oh, talk about awful. She had some skinny legs. She was wearing the shin guards outside of her socks. She didn't obviously look like a soccer player at all. So obviously during camps, it's more for the beginner intermediate player. But anyway, what caught my eye turned out to be her mother was helping her and whatever, you know. So her
soccer mum.
Yes, yeah. So from afar, you know, she looked really young. She obviously looked athletic and fit. She looked the spitting image of an actress. I think her name is Kristen Wiig or something. She starred in a chick flick called Bridesmaids or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, quite nice looking then.
Pretty, yeah, very, very pretty. But yeah, so obviously I introduced myself. Oh, you know, I'm Coach
Doll Meat.
But anyway, I introduced myself, you know, just say I'm Coach Chocolate. And, you know, just started to have a conversation with her, and she was kind of like just being nice and that sort of stuff. Found out she was a sort of a PE teacher at a school. And then, you know, I made it my effort from that day on for the rest of the week to go and make sure I introduce myself and see her. So throughout the week, oh, you know, how was your day?
Sounds just like Baron.
Yeah.
Out there to launch a career, you know, to get on this nice new coaching spiritual journey, and then you meet the girl on day one.
Right, but
all your attention turns to the girl.
But you'd hear from friends in the sort of the coaching world are these, you know, stories of soccer mums and stuff like that, and you felt, oh, right, okay, well, is it true? So I thought obviously she was extremely pretty and whatever, and throughout the week you'd go drop out little things, when are you going to take me out, I'm new in town, where's the good spots to go, this, that and the other. And I think by the end of the week I wore her down, and she gave me a number and said, oh, you know, maybe I'll take you out, this, that and the other. But she obviously liked the accent. She liked obviously what she saw with Coach Chocolate.
Yeah, you probably had a bit more of a British accent back then, right?
It hasn't gone. It hasn't wavered. It's still the same.
You bring it out when it's needed.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I got a number, and then I don't think I texted her for about 2 or 3 weeks. And I think one time I was out with the boys, telling them, you know, a little bit, you know, I met this soccer mum, and they're like, well, what happened then? And I'm like, nothing yet. I got a number, and then they're like, all right. After a few beers, they're like egging me on to fucking text her. So I text her, and we text back and forth, and then it got progressively over the next sort of few months a little bit more intimate. We met, I think, once or twice out there, just for some casual drinks. He tried to get me drunk on Patron, but we didn't end up really doing anything other than sort of kissing. So fast forward another 3 months, and you're talking towards Christmas, and you know, she loved everything about England. She kept asking me a gazillion different questions. Obviously, one was like, oh, do you know the Queen, and stupid stuff like that, which is a common thing, believe it or not. She turned out she applied for an internship to learn a little bit more about the cultural differences between England teaching and American and all that sort of stuff. So I've got a week's long internship at a private school in England. I've got free room and board. We should hang out. So I've gone back home to see the family in London, and obviously, you know, with family it gets a little bit draining sometimes. So I'm like, all right, hey, I'm going to go see a friend. One of my mates from America has come down. I want to go in. I'm going to go chill with them for a couple of days.
That's one of Baron's tactics as well.
What's that?
He tells it anytime he wants to use his parents' house and they're away, he tells them Tank's coming over for a visit.
Oh, yeah. You play a lot.
And then his mum cooks up some nice food, and he's there entertaining some lady in his dad's bedroom.
Yeah, nice. With his dad's slippers and bathrobe on. like Hugh Hefner. But anyway, so she got an all expenses paid trip down, and so she sent me the name of the hotel and all that sort of stuff. So obviously with London, didn't have a car or anything like that, but I went by a tube to go meet her. 45-minute an hour tube ride to get into, I think it was sort of central London. And I've gone with comfort. I've gone with some trainers, some sweatpants or some joggers. I've gone with a hoodie. I've gone for comfort. Before there, I've gone, all right, from previous texts where we're probably sexting a little bit, I've gone, you know, all right, it's definitely going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. So,
you went all prepared?
Yeah, well, on the way, I've packed some nice stuff to go on some dates with, some nice clothes, some nice shoes, but I've gone looking like pretty much like a tramp.
You took protection with you?
No, well, funny enough, actually, I stopped off a strategic stop in, I think, the old Superdrug. So I'm very, very excited. I'm thinking now, all right, the wait is over. A little bit like Liverpool for a Premier League title. So I'm walking in the Superdrug, and I'm like, okay, what can I can't just buy condoms by itself. You know, I stroll up to the condom aisle, and I'm like rubbing my hand.
Pick up a pack of Monster Munch on the way back as well.
So I'm like, all right, which one am I going to get? Am I going to get the ultra thin ones? Is that going to make me not last long? Am I going to get the extra thick one and I ain't going to feel nothing? So I'm sort of scratching my head a little bit, and I end up picking some. I think it was a pack of Doritos and some and some Opal Fruits or Starburst.
And then you tried to hide the condoms underneath the crisp packet. Or
no. That's what I did. I picked up some Red Bull and some Lucozade too.
What condoms did you set for?
Bit of energy.
Man, I think at that stage everyone wanted the brand ones, right? So it was Durex.
Magnum.
That's what I use now, but I evolved. involved in.
Yeah,
But,
I remember me and Baron also went condom shopping together, right, Baron?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
where'd you take him, Mothercare?
No, it was Boots. It was
Also, yeah, Boots, classic.
Boots,
yeah. I remember that day. I just noticed Tank was looking for a condom, and I think he was just reading quite a lot, just reading about it.
Reading the full package.
That's it. Reading the full package. And I was like,
Instructions.
you never brought one before? And he was like, they used to hand us out, condoms in the hood. And I was
So at this point, we were both still pretending that we weren't virgins, I think, to each other.
Yeah. Having it around your bedroom just to say, hey, yeah, just casually, condoms everywhere.
Protecting our virginity, literally. Basically, it was just eyeing up all the condoms, and just looked like he's never ever brought one. And I said, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're buying, do you? It was like, why is this ripped for?
Why does it say it's ripped? Why, who wants to buy ripped
I was like,
condoms?
that's ripped, man, that's ripped. That's ripped.
Ripped for her pleasure.
I don't even remember which ones you brought at the end.
I think I went for the fin. Oh, that's what I buy now. I probably didn't at the time. I probably went for like extra thick or something. So sorry, Dommy, for the interruption.
But when I went up to the counter and all that sort of stuff, you kind of lock eyes with the guy. Is he going to give me a sort of judgmental look when he scans in the condoms and that? But he didn't. He didn't. It was just ding, 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 ding. So he obviously must have known it weren't my first time or something. I must have thought I was a player or something. But so obviously I typed in the landmark hotel, and I've walked into it, and all of a sudden I felt a little bit out of my comfort zone. There was like those people with those big black hats, those tall ones.
Oh, standing outside the palace and stuff. Yeah. Oh shit.
There was like a big circular roundabout in front where literally people would drive their car and valet, and there was like 5 or 6 valet people. There were security guards, and this ginormous hotel. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, I've got to go in here. Someone's going to stop and search me or something. But anyway, I slowly walked to the entrance, and I had 4 or 5 people look at me as if this guy was lost. It wasn't even my best one. It was my comfortable one. Yes, go to the entrance. I don't know how to give you a visual, but this hotel was probably the poshest hotel I've ever seen in my life. I even saw like the Man City documentary, All or Nothing. This is where they went when they played some of the London teams. So you're looking at gold-plated staircases. You're looking at a waterfall in the middle of the freaking hotel. You're looking at like stories and stories of rooms, and you walk past like the restaurant area, and no prices are advertised, so you already know that these are for rich folks. So I was like, you know what? Yeah. Anyway, I went up to the room. I met her, and she opened the door, and she was dressed, ready to go for dinner, looking great, high heels, tight. And geez, man, I was like, and then there's me. What?
You said high heels, tight.
She's looking tight top, tight pants, jeans, looking really good. So she goes, what do you want to do? Do you want to go out and get some meat and then come back and go for a drink, come back? I was like, yes, absolutely. I remember it anyway, but I showered, I got ready, looked good, put my Red Bull in the fridge for later. And yeah, we went out to some posh restaurant. I paid, saved up all my money for that. And then when we came back, it was weird. Like, it's happening. It's almost like a countdown, and you kind of, in my head, I'm prepping myself. Don't come too quickly. Don't come too quickly. Don't be a waste. Don't be a waste. And it was weird. Like, this is how posh this hotel was. I bumped into David Dean in the lift on the way back up, and he knew what was going on.
I think so, and there's no doubt. I mean, in the end, the results talk for themselves, and when you see the people he's brought in, and he's been very determined, concentrated, conscientious, and let's hope still there's more to come.
He just smiled at me and I said, hey, nice to meet you, I'm a big Arsenal fan, appreciative of your work, this, that, and the other, and he smiled and goes, thanks, and then he kind of looked at me and then looked at the lady I was with, and then smiled at me, and then just bounced out of the elevator. But yeah, and went back in the room, sat on the sort of not the sofa, like there was like a little armchair seat, started to have a drink, poured a drink, and then she come and straddled me, sat down, and started kissing, and then went to the bedroom, and the drink definitely helped. We started kissing, touching, all that sort of stuff, all the foreplay, and I was ready to put on my newly purchased Durex premium ting, and then she's like, "Oh no, don't worry about it. I'm gonna take the pill and that." So I was like, "Oh shit." Yeah, and I'm like, oh my god, no, I'm definitely not going to be able to contain myself. So, but I think I got into my head so much, I didn't come, and I kept myself going for about 25 minutes until when I needed to, because I don't know, I think it was the pressure. It was, she didn't put anything on me. She didn't even know I was a virgin at the time, but it was just in my head. It was, have to perform, and I think for the next few days, I mean, we practiced.
Where did you come?
I got. What'd you say?
Where did you come?
When did I come? What?
Where did you come?
Oh, I can't.
Mate, we haven't got time for your softball and shit, all right?
As I say, I think you'll work it out if she took the pill, but over the last couple of days, two or three times.
Baron still ain't found the hole.
Two or three times through there. I even tried it in the swimming pool, in the landmark there, while people were in the pool, mate. I was just fawned up all day and all night for the last 3-4 days,
You just can't stop.
But yeah, I think she caught a UTI as well, as in a urinary tract infection from doing it so much. It's not an STI, by the way. Just put that out there. It's just from obviously not used to having that much dirt.
You say yeast infection?
No, mate.
No.
Not what you give to other girls, mate.
All right. So yeah, all in all, was a pleasant experience.
Yeah, I don't think others would be as fortunate as that experience.
Yeah, well, I'll take over from there. So yeah, I mean, actually, mine and Baron's stories are quite intertwined. So like I said, we'd both gone off to university. Yeah, we were thinking, oh, this is it. We're all free. Obviously, there's going to be women falling all over us. Get to second week and that's still not happened. It's the second month, second term, end of first year, and yeah, still nothing happening. Just a lot of watching girls in the club dance. So then anyway, following year, I come back from my summer holidays with a bit more determination, shall we say, to fix that. And luckily for me, the Baron is also of a similar mind, and he introduces me to what he's been doing all summer whilst all of the other guys were at home, and that is online dating. So Baron was kind of like the pioneer of online dating as well, not just the selfies. He's really a trendsetter. And anyway, so he takes me through all the different apps. What are they, Baron? Social Me,
Flirtalicious,
Plenty of Fish,
Zoosk, Badoo.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so we got them all. We're messaging girls. We ain't got a clue what we're doing.
Hey, I do. I was just introducing it to you.
And anyway, we're getting quite competitive about this, even to the point where we're making like some little contractual agreement. The first person to get something has to give this for a kiss, this for more. So really set out contractually. So we're very motivated, very competitive now, even to the point that we're like stealing each other's online girls. Even if we don't think they're attractive, we're messaging the other one's girl. And actually, like the first one, it was like the girl. It was like also an older woman, and she was. What are all these older women doing? Just waiting online for all this virgins. Anyway, so yeah, she's basically saying, yeah, she's coming over, she's ready to go, and I just chicken out, I bottle out. I'm like, nah, this isn't. I say I chicken out, but actually it's kind of what you said, told me, like, this isn't the way I planned it, this isn't the way I envisage it. I don't just want a one-time thank you ma'am, wham bam thank you ma'am. So I palmed her off to the Baron, but I think it also fell through there. So anyway, yeah, I eventually get talking to a girl where we're like messaging back and forth, like literally pages for probably about a month or so before we decide that we're going to meet. She lives in Swansea at the time, so it's like an hour away from where I was living. And so, yeah, it was an out of town thing. So she comes, we agree she's going to come visit me. And even just, like I said, this is very early days of online dating. I wouldn't recommend this now, but we had arranged that she would actually spend the night, like, no matter what was going to happen, like, that she was just staying over with me. So, yeah, anyway, I'm waiting for her in the train station. I'm pacing back and forth. I didn't think she saw me, but it later turned out that she had seen me, like, walking about like a crazy man, walking back and forward, just full of nerves. We meet, we kind of hug or something, I guess. I probably did the old kiss on the head number, the classic tank. And anyway, I take her to the nearest bar, and I'm still, like, sort of kind of finding my way out of Islam at this point. So, but I'm still not drinking at this point. We go to the bar, and she's, like, you know, just so nervous. We order a drink. I get her a drink, and she downs it, like, pretty much in a second, and even to the point she's swallowing, like, the lime hole, you know, where she's full of nerves. And then we head back to our house, shared house, with all my uni mates, including the Baron. Yeah, so the idea is I'm going to cook her a nice meal. And so I tell her, you know, yeah, take a seat in the living room, watch some telly, and I'll go make you a meal. You know, obviously nowadays I know better, and would kind of invite her into the kitchen with me and make more of an experience of it. But it was very much like, I'm going to go in the kitchen for an hour, you just sit in this strange room all on your own and watch telly. Luckily, the Baron came to my rescue and came downstairs and come and talk to her, right, Baron?
Yeah, I just kept her company, made sure she was okay. Just, tried to help a brother out.
Wingmanning.
Yeah, so that was very useful, because I'm sure basically had he not come down, she would have probably just walked out the front door within that hour and a half I was in the kitchen. So that was very well done by the Baron. So anyway, yeah, we go up to the bedroom after, and we're getting touchy-feely. We're watching a movie. It starts off with a little hug, you know, the little arm over the shoulder sort of job. I think we were watching Amélie, a nice little French movie, right? I think it's French. Anyway, good film, recommend it. And yeah, it was going well, and we're getting more and more touchy, to the point, like, yeah, things are getting a bit worked up, and yeah, something happens. I go downstairs to tell the Baron all about it, and yeah, just to kind of fast forward to years later now, just quickly, it's not my first time I just, you know, left the girl all alone and made a bit of a mess of things. Even like my wife now, I turned the lights out when we hooked up for the first time and left her all alone in the dark. So I have a bit of a history. So anyway, I just hooked up with this girl for the first time. Not completely. I go downstairs to tell the Baron, and the Baron says,
"She gave you a blowjob!"
So this is like full top of his lungs, like several times. She gave you a blowjob. She gave you a blowjob. Proud of me. Was it pride or jealousy?
The excitement of him getting a blowjob before I did. That's what it was.
Didn't think I could do it.
The jealousy. The jealousy.
No. It was more of the surprise. No, I didn't know that girls do that. I was like, wow, he's got a blowjob. Fair play, you know, fair play.
Yeah, so anyway, the window in the kitchen is wide open, and my bedroom is directly above, or pretty much the case, so she hears everything, and obviously is very embarrassed when I go back up to rejoin her. Anyway, actually, like, you know, I was still kind of in between, like, deciding when this would be best to happen for me. We didn't have sex. And it was probably like a month later, because we were living in separate cities, like I said, so we were only seeing each other every other weekend, that we eventually went through with it after like basically a month of like grinding up on each other without it actually happening. So the first time we decided to go through with it, it wasn't planned in advance, it was just more of the same mode, sort of like softcore grinding. And we've been doing this for like half an hour already, and to the point where I was so frustrated that I was like, yeah, let's do it, it's happening. And so we did it, and yeah, about 30 seconds later it was over. So yeah, that could happen. It was just basically where I was where we had been basically fooling around for the whole half an hour before, that it was just over so quickly. I was already at the point. Yeah, so I can reassure the ladies, although my wife won't be too happy putting this out there, but yeah, I'm all good. things are good, no problems. It was just down to the little 30-minute foreplay session.
Yeah, love it.
Test the waters.
Exactly. Test drive. Make sure everything's is working. Sometimes you ejaculate.
Yeah.
And then hopefully it doesn't happen again. And like you said, it doesn't.
It doesn't. But yeah, just go back to what Dobby say. Obviously, his experience was very positive, but I was just like horrified. I was like, oh shit, is this me? You know, am I the guy that's...
Well, she came back again. And the key thing was there was a next time. So
that's the key, isn't it? That's the key for some women in the foreplay.
Yeah, for her it was like a completely positive experience. Like, we had been building this up so long, it's what she wanted, so she was really happy, but I was just like horrified and like really ashamed of myself. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it's kind of like practice makes perfect, and next time we knew we didn't need quite as much foreplay.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely I recommend some, but maybe keep it down to a good 10-15 minutes is enough. Over to the Baron. Baron, you finished the story. So we'd both been online crazy. We'd both been at uni, going out clubbing. Take us into your experience.
Yeah, so we were online dating, and I was experienced at that time. By the time I showed Mr. Tank how to do online dating, I was a pro. I've been doing it for several years. Obviously not doing it very well because I didn't go on any dates, but I had lots of girls in MSN or just talking or showing me what their bits online as you do. During these times we used to go out clubbing. Nothing really sort of happened, but we'd still enjoy ourselves. But there was always women in the back of our minds. But it seemed to be kind of a lost cause. However, this night was different. So it was me, myself, Tank, and another guy, call him Muscle Man. we went out on this night out. It ended up being sort of like the same sort of night as usual, having a bit of a drink, having a bit of a laugh, dancing, looking at women, but not really going anywhere. However, the drinks kept flowing. I was nice, sort of tipsy. We left the club. However, I was like sort of, didn't really want to go home without a fight. Didn't want to give up my night. So as we were walking to get some food because we were hungry, so need to something to soak up the alcohol, I felt like a piss. We were on place for some food. We just stopped for a bit of a piss, went into local McDonald's. As I entered the toilet door was opened, and there was two girls there, one sitting on the toilet, and I was like, I was sort of flabbergasted and said, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize you were there, and just kind of like walked out quickly. Obviously embarrassed, but more embarrassed for them as well, like having the door opened, and I don't know what they were doing, what their plans were. They as we
What do you think their plans were? Anyway, cut to.
Anyway, we're just waiting for them, waiting to use the toilet. They come out. I apologize again, and then go for my piss. As we walked out of McDonald's, we went to the kebab shop. These boys were buying their food. I was kind of waiting outside, but also like I was just kind of still on the prowl, having a look around, seeing what's there. These guys were
looking for scraps. Exactly. Looking for any scraps, yeah. The opposite of what I would have done. Yeah.
Looking for any scraps. Nah, but not scraps.
All right. So you got your doner kebab. You're looking for your scraps.
I didn't get no doner kebab.
Okay,
I was waiting.
Still minding the game.
I was waiting outside. You guys were getting your kebab, and as you guys got your kebab and came out, I was just like, I think that girl's looking at me. So you were like, what? That kind of encouraging me. But as I normally am when my instincts are correct, they usually are. Come. They usually are. So anyway,
you were wasted.
Anyway, regardless of how wasted I was, I was correct. I went up to her and started talking to her for a few seconds, if that. and then we started kissing. After this, I realized, oh, that's actually the girl that was.
That's the toilet girl.
That's the pisser on the. And then I saw the pisser's friend as well, and I was again. Oh, hi girls, you all right? And she was like, yeah, not too bad and whatnot. They were both quite friendly. And then after kissing her, she kind of led me to a taxi. And told her friend that I'm gonna go back home with him.
Oh shit! She didn't give you a choice. It was happening.
She told you what was happening.
Yeah, exactly.
She told you it's about to go down.
So her friend was
what time it was.
Her friend was obviously quite concerned, but even though Tank said I was absolutely smashed, I was still able to
wits about you a little bit still
able to have a conversation with the girl, and I think her friend was obviously making sure that she's all right. You know, you don't want your friend to go home with some random bloke. So I was obviously a trustworthy guardian. So we went into the taxi, and next minute I turn around and I see through the window Tank and Muscle Man running to catch another taxi. My thoughts were that they were going home because my room was an absolute tip. So my in my mind was like they're rushing because they want to get home before I do.
And tidy your room.
Yeah, tidy my room so that I
can confirm that wasn't the case. We just wanted to see the end of the story.
But anyway, what happened was while I was in the taxi wasn't moving. The taxi driver was talking to a policeman. Because as there was a police car in front, not allowing the taxi to go through, I was in the back seat just talking to her and thinking, fucking hell, this taxi ain't
even the police trying to cock block you.
So I was just like, I didn't know what was going on. Just talking to this girl, carrying on kissing her, whatnot. Make sure I take this girl home. Because I was even telling her in the taxi, should we sort of get another taxi? And by that time, as I was proposing that offer to her, the taxi driver comes in, and then good 10-15 minutes later, taxi starts moving, and all good.
Okay, you get home.
So I get home, and
did Tank and the muscle room clean the room after all?
The muscle man, Mr. Muscle and Tank, Tank made sure all my clothes were in my cupboard, gave it a little quick clean. My instincts, as I said, when I think it's correct, it's always correct. So
put a rubber out for you, didn't I? I can't remember now. I think I did.
You gave. Oh no. Actually, do you know what? Anyway, let's go back to the story.
Okay, we all know how this story has gone.
Let's go back to the story. So as I was just admiring the cleanliness of the room, the girl walks out, says I need to use the toilet. Then she starts spewing. She spewed all on my floor.
Okay.
At that point, I was like, obviously
this
she
is
was
over. Obviously,
turn off. Can't do this now.
Like, so sorry.
Kick her out the house.
Yeah, she's like, I'm so sorry and all this, and I'll go to the toilet. I go, yeah, just clean your mouth, whatnot. And then I ended up like,
whatnot. God.
I ended up cleaning all the spew with the kitchen towels.
Yeah. Got it off the bed sheets.
No. It was on the floor.
Okay.
It was on the floor. So I cleaned the entrance to my room, and then
a horrible smell in it.
You had that same 5-star entrance that DAWG had at the hotel, then, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was definitely christened. Anyway, she comes out of the toilet. I'm carrying the spew-filled kitchen roll. She kissed me.
While it's still in your hand?
That's in my hand, yeah. She kissed.
You had zero hesitation. Did you lend her your toothbrush or something to brush her teeth?
No. She just kissed me, and I did. Obviously, the mouth wasn't 100%.
You got some of her chippy ali kebab.
Yeah, wasn't 100% disinfected. Anyway, she goes into the room. I throw the loo roll into the bin. Then I head upstairs. I go to see my boy Tank, who's there, very, very excited and saying, "What's going on? What's going on?" And he had the £5 note to give me, and also he gave me a condom as well. The £5 was for the bet. That's
more of a little incentive, we'll call it, than a bet.
Yes. incentive, yeah. Yeah, it was the highest offer in the range of prices.
Hey, that was 2 Benny's fried chickens there.
Exactly.
Back in those days.
There was 10p for a hug, I think it was, 50p for a kiss, so £5 for sex. Even though I didn't,
I chucked in the condom.
Yeah, you did. I didn't even actually have sex with her, but you paid me before I actually did it. So anyway, you knew best.
I knew that when I gave you the £5, there was no turning back.
Exactly.
You knew you had to do it then.
I was more like, you knew what was going to happen. So anyway, go downstairs and then switch the lights off. She's in my bed.
Lights off, yeah?
Lights off, yeah, lights off. She's in my bed, condom on the dressing table, and we start kissing and a bit more foreplay. Suddenly I go down on her, and I'm some sort of experienced oral sexualist, and started like licking her all up inside her. All up inside her veins. Anyway. Did
it still have a nice taste from the McDonald's incident, or had she at least cleaned that one up?
I actually forgot to mention that as I took her pants down. I said as I took it down. As I took her pants down, yeah, I just saw like a fucking forest out there, man.
Yeah. It was scary movie style.
Yeah.
It was
need to cut
crazy.
the whole hedge trimmer out.
A couple of bats come out.
And obviously, this is the first vagina that I've ever seen.
You think there was a chance that it was hers as well, or?
What, the vagina?
Her first time.
Oh, right, okay. No. No, to be honest, I was just I couldn't tell because we were quite
based on how she swooped Baron up and put him in a taxi. I don't think that was her first time.
Yeah, that's true. But to be honest, it was me sort of like dictating procedures in the bedroom. Dictating procedures. So then I noticed the hairy hedgehog. So as I was licking most of the hair rather than the clit, because it took kind of time to
dig through, tunnel through. Yeah.
Exactly. Where the hell is the thing? Because I was like, it was like fucking kissing some bearded freak. Anyway. Licking this thing and bit of foreplay. And next thing, as I kind of discover where the entrance is, I insert my fully erect penis at that point. Also, momentarily, I was like, oh, I've got to put a condom on, right?
Were you well groomed though?
Yeah, relatively.
You were ready, yeah. You were
okay.
Ready. He was ready for 20 years, mate. Don't worry about it.
It wasn't all right. Okay, just making sure it wasn't bush on.
Nah, it was one of those nights, because it's quite seasonal with me. But for some reason, I was well groomed at that day. So as I was fully erect, I slip it in. No, well, before I slipped it in, I was thinking, do I wear the condom that Tang gave me? But I decided not to. She looked up at me and she said it's okay. Well, she didn't say it's okay, but she nodded her head.
Yeah.
Anyway, I stick my thing in, my big fat fucking thing.
Yeah, okay.
What?
This ain't the...
So, don't worry, guys. No need to get penis envy. Anyway, sticking my thing.
I'm getting punani envy from your first one.
So I was beasting her. For a couple of minutes.
Okay. I get the idea. Go on.
I was beasting her for a couple of moments. Obviously,
couple of strokes.
Yeah, she was enjoying it. And then a few minutes later, obviously, I was just like, my eyes were like different areas. Sometimes I was looking around the room as well, looking at her, looking at the penis going into the pussy, looking at the pussy.
Anyway, taking it all in, yeah.
As I was pumping her, then I noticed that she kind of passed out.
Oh.
So at that moment, I just took my fully erect penis out of her pussy. Decided to.
You sound like a fucking politician.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
I did not have sex with that woman.
I was getting what I was going to say in court anyway. But anyway, I lie
He's
down.
rehearsed this one, hasn't he?
I lie down next to her in the spooning sort of position. She's a little spoon, and I'm there, with my fully erect penis, kind of like just lying down with her. And then I don't know how long, 10, 15 minutes maybe. She wakes up, and then like we're talking all night long, and so that's all pretty much what we did. It wasn't really. That's pretty much what we did all night, like her kind of rabbiting on. And when we awoke the next day,
sober.
Did you pretend to fall asleep to stop you from continuing? Do you reckon?
What's that? What's that?
You think she pretended to fall asleep because she wasn't enjoying it, and then I don't know how long until you were chatting about whatever you were chatting about?
No, not at all. It was more to do with the fact that
you were both drunk.
Yeah, but also the fact that there was no performance issues whatsoever. As I said, after a few pumps, I was still fully erect, so I decided to go into the spooning position. Erect, I must emphasize. 5 minutes later, she was talking to me, still erect, sorry.
Alright, get to this. Wake up sober in the morning.
Wake up, erect, sorry. Wake up. She starts like dressing herself, kissing me, whatever. And then she like looking for a passport. She's like wondering where is her passport. Starts like looking through my stuff. Oh. And I said, what are you doing? What are you doing, And she's just like, oh, just in case you've taken my passport. And I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? Just because I'm brown, I ain't going to, I've got my own passport, I ain't going to steal your passport.
I don't think you could have passed yourself off as her.
Exactly. So after her failure to look to find a passport in my room, I suggested that, do you want to report the lost passport in the police station? Because I'm only 10 minutes away. Okay. We walked towards the police station. She reported the passport as missing. He come back to mine, and then she kind of talking about how we should meet up, and then she gave me her number, okay. But she didn't have money to go back home. So
yeah.
I gave her 15 quid to go back home, but hustle. But also just going back the experience, I kind of didn't really want to see her again. I'm not saying that I didn't really have that chemistry or fancied her. It was more or less like I saw pussy for the first time in my life, and it was just kind of get over the first hurdle. It wasn't a bad experience.
So even though maybe it wasn't the best experience, you still are glad that it happened.
I'm glad that it happened. It wasn't a bad experience at all.
Did you ever hear from her again?
Wait, just going back to my just
stop going back. Start going forward. It's late.
Quickly sum up. It wasn't a terrible experience. It needed to happen. I got over the first hurdle. That's it. And she at one point I was kind of desperate to see if I can get her again.
Okay.
Have sex with her again.
You just wanted some more action.
But looking for things that I'm kind of used to rather than starting to look for new flowers. Anyway, just look for the planted seeds in the soil anyway. So I couldn't remember her surname. I don't know what her surname was. Looked for her first name on Facebook along with the university that she was studying. Found her after having a look for a minute, and then decided to message her, just saying that, hey, hope you had good fun the night we met. Whatever, hope we can do it sometime again. She messaged me back saying that, what happened? Can't remember. Did we have sex?
God. Oh my God.
So I was just like, yeah, you know what happened. What is this? But as soon as I messaged back, I kind of realized that, what the fuck is this about? Yeah. So I blocked and deleted her, because I don't want to get involved.
Yeah. So it started with troubled girls and continues on today with many troubled girls.
Nah.
I don't know if you attract them or if they're drawn to you. What is it? Are you attracted to these girls?
Nah, I don't. I think it's a bit of both. But to be honest, that was my first time. It could have been with you. It could have been with Dog Me. It could have been with.
Whoa, hold on. Your first time or that first experience could have been with
Sorry, the first experience.
Mate, I guarantee you now, your first time could not have been with me, alright? It's gonna take you another 21 years before I smack you.
I got standards and I ain't got a bush.
But what was I saying? That what my point was, it could have been with anyone, and she happened to be the chosen one that night.
Okay,
You chose her, right?
She was lucky. Huh? Lucky one.
Chose her. I chose her. No, it was more to do with the fact that it was kind of like bravado with Tank, just saying that I think she's interested in me, and then that gives me enough to say that I've got to prove him wrong now because I said it. So that's what it was, and I did prove him wrong. He gave me £5. So anyway.
All right. Anyway, let's wrap it up there. I think we've kind of all seen that, the first time maybe doesn't go according to plan. Maybe throw the plans out the window. We kind of had mixed experiences, but I think we would all do them again, and if not, sooner. So, yeah. Dolmy, any final comments?
Don't put pussy on a pedestal.
Don't put pussy on a pedestal.
Yeah, just don't hesitate. Pussy isn't anything like, it's not powerful. Penis isn't as powerful. Just go out there and get laid, virgins.
Enjoy yourself.
Use protection. Use protection.
Yeah.
Don't.
Not like
everyone has their own insecurities. Yeah. So enjoy yourself.
It's just all part of the experience, right? You need to get the experience in order to get where you are in the future.
In order to be a great love god, exactly.
All right, thanks guys. That's it from the DAWG Cast this week. We'll see you next week.
See you later.
Bye bye.